Hello there and welcome back to a bit of a different video for me and my channel. Now I usually talk about investing in stocks and everything related to it. But today I thought I would share with you a story about a financial decision that I've made that might help you save some money and maybe invest more money in stocks in the future. Now I might not do many more of these, but I thought this was the one that I was going to make. Per the title of this video, I've bought myself a Tesla Model 3 and I thought I would very quickly tell you why. Now a lot of these videos of people talking about what cars they buy and why tend to drag on, and they have numbers and statistics and all sorts of calculations, but I'm going to give it to you as quickly and simple as possible. Now I decided to buy a brand new car, and if you decide to buy a brand new one, an electric car is the only thing that makes sense. And if you want to buy an electric car, Tesla is the only car that makes sense. Now from Tesla you can choose between the S, the X and Model 3, and then you'll have the Model Y and the Roadster later. And of those three, Model 3 is the only one that makes sense for most people. It costs about $50,000, it's quite affordable. While the S is like $60,000-$70,000 and the X is even more. So I ended on the Model 3. Now there are many reasons why I landed on this car, but it's simply the most bang for your bucks. And it's the safest, most advanced car on the market. It also has the world's best car battery and the world's best range, as well as autopilot and, in my opinion, design. So it's overall the best car on the market, and it crushes the competition in its bracket. So an alternative could be like a low range BMW or a Leaf or something like this. And for petrol cars you could buy like a BMW 3 Series, maybe an Audi, a cheap Mercedes, a Volkswagen, something like this. But none of them really compares to the Model 3. Now the main reason I bought this car was to save money. So I put up a lot of money now up front to save money in 6, 7, 8 years when I've had the car for a while. Now where I live in Norway, I save a lot of money on this car. So first of all, you don't have to pay any emission tax or anything like that when you bring the car into the country. So you're getting way more car for your money than you would with a similar petrol car. The second thing is you don't have to pay the sort of road tax, which is what you have to pay in order to be allowed to drive at all. You don't have to pay at toll stations. In my country there are toll stations absolutely everywhere. It might be the heaviest toll stationed country in the world. On top of that, you save on fuel, which is the big one, thousands and thousands of dollars per year. Toll stations in my country is also thousands of dollars every year if you drive to work or go on vacations. And on top of that, you save on your repair bills. So no engine, nothing breaks down, no expensive cars to replace when it goes to the shop. So that's probably thousands and thousands of dollars as well. On top of this, the Tesla Model 3 is so much better and far superior than any other electric car that it depreciates less and it's way more desirable. And at the end, if you decide to sell the car after 5, 6, 7, 8 years, there are still people who's going to want to buy it because the range is still going to be relatively good and the car is not going to be a piece of crap basically. If you buy a Leaf or an i3, no one's going to want your car after you're done with it, and the range is also bad as it is, and the cars, they weren't all that great when you bought it anyways. So it doesn't really make sense to buy any of these cars unless you absolutely cannot personally afford a Tesla Model 3. Again, this is the way I look. Now one thing also to keep in mind, that for a lot of young people, we drive cheap petrol cars until it breaks down. We try and fix it, then it ends up costing way too much and we just buy another one and that cycle repeats itself. But at some point I think you need to take a stance and buy something like a Tesla, because instead of buying 3 cheap petrol cars that loses 100% of its value, you have to scrap them after 2 years. They constantly break down, they're not fuel efficient, they cost a ton to repair, and some of them are even, way more dangerous to drive than a Tesla. You end up having 2 or 3 of these problem cars over the span of 8 years instead of one basically free Tesla Model 3. So if you can afford one, if you can afford the down payments of $10, $15, $20,000 on a Tesla, consider doing that instead of buying all these cheap petrol cars, because you think you're saving money, but if you add it up over the lifespan of a Tesla, the Tesla is going to save you money almost no matter how cheap those petrol cars are. Now, on top of this, Tesla Model 3 can drive itself in a year or two. So it has the best autopilot, which is going to make it way more desirable, and the best car, even more safe on the road. And it's perfect if you drive for Lyft, Uber Eats, or if you have to drive to work, if you have a business where you're driving, if you do some sort of career service. This car's the perfect one because it costs you almost nothing, and you're left with way more in profits if you do any job related to driving or where you need to drive to and from work. Besides this, it's way cooler than any other car. It's way easier to drive. It's way faster than anything you've ever driven. Plus, I think it's pretty much the best looking car on the road, besides cars that I'm never going to be able to afford. So this is why I bought a Tesla Model 3. Please let me know if you're considering the same car or the same option. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer any questions about the car or Tesla or how the charging works, or anything like that. I can just quickly say the charging is great. Tesla superchargers are the cheapest and quickest chargers in the world. For me, it costs about like $15 or something to fill a full tank. And at home and at work, I charge for free. So the charging is no problem, very quick, very cheap. It takes like around 30 to 40 minutes to fill up a car. So just grab a bite, a snack, go for a walk, and you're done. So that's it for this video. Throw me a comment, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in my next video.